Still the AM show with me, Bernice Apubedulansa. ActionAid is here, and they're here to tell you why they're looking forward to a just, fair, and sustainable world in which everybody, no one left behind, everybody enjoys the right to a life of dignity, freedom from poverty and oppression. Esther Ohenewa Brown is here with me. She is with ActionAid, and she will be telling us more about what they're doing. Hello, Esther. Great to have you.
Hi, Bernice.
All right. She's here with her colleague. I'll be letting you in on... he's Ayuba Abubakar. Esther is comms manager with ActionAid Ghana, and Ayuba is project manager at ActionAid Ghana. Yes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you
to have you here.
Thank you.
So tell me about this vision ActionAid has. Look, I'm reading it, and I'm thinking to myself, that's such a bold statement to make. It's such a daring aspiration to have. Yeah. Why does ActionAid think this is even possible in the first place?
Well, thank you, Venice. Good morning to your viewers. So ActionAid has been working in Ghana since 1990, actually. We are a social justice organization with focus on women's rights. And we are very unapologetic about it. We're biased towards women. Because we believe that when women are supported, the general community will receive that level of support. And so over the years, we have been working to support social justice. And you talk about a just, fair. It is also because now there is a lot of conversation around climate justice. We move from climate change to climate justice because when you look at a lot of the things that are happening around the world, specifically in Ghana, there are a lot of people who are recording losses and damage around the impact of climate change. And so we are looking at how can we deliver just, fair social justice to people. We do this by working with communities to be able to get them to be part of the development journey. We are not an organization that goes into a community and dump development on them. We look at how they can participate in the whole process to be able to sustain that particular development agenda that we're pushing for. So basically, that's what ActionAid has been doing since 1990, so over 35 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So quite recently, you've been working on the Northern Ghana Integrated Development Project, and that's focusing on strengthening resilient livelihoods, contribute to secure climate justice, and address the root causes of violence against women and girls, reduce unpaid care work, and promote decent work respectively. As part of the project, ActionAid is conducting immediate training on decent work practices and social protection within the agri value chain. So Ayuba, tell us more about the Northern Ghana Integrated Development Project, and you will be telling us what decent work and social work is all about.
Okay, thank you very much. So the Northern Ghana Integrated Development Project is a 4-year project funded by the EU. We are in the last month of the implementation of the project. It actually started in 2019. And then we have worked with districts and at all levels to actually change the lives of smallholder farmers. And so basically the project seeks to actually contribute to reducing rural poverty. And as you have said, through actually engaging smallholder farmers to build their capacity around agroecology, to make them more resilient. And so that's what we have been doing. And we are working with 2 partners, Urbanet and 3Aid. So over the years, we have worked with civil society organizations at the community level to build their capacity to be able to support the smallholder farmers. And then we have moved on to train the smallholder farmers on agroecology, supported them with demo farms, and now they have imbibed the idea of actually using organic fertilizers and other local inputs in production. And it's helping them. They are increasing yield. We have also worked with young people to build their capacity in some livelihood areas. Honey production, this is climate friendly, and shea butter production, nutritional gardening, and a lot of people are benefiting from this. And other components of the project has to do with, like you have said, actually making sure that the smallholder farmers get the needed social protection and also benefit from decent work. And we have been doing this. We have help them to create what we call village savings and loans associations, and they are making a lot of savings and helping themselves, yes, from this. Yes, so this training you have talked about, which my colleague will talk more about, we want to see how we, garner support to campaign for government to integrate decent work principles into the agriculture sector. Because these smallholder farmers we are working with are mostly, into agric. And how do they benefit from the work they are doing? And so we need government support to actually help this happen.
I know, so decent work, what does that mean? What's your social protection campaign and decent work campaign all about?
All right, so when we talk about decent work, it's an agenda that the International Labour Organization has been pushing, and of course organizations like ActionAid, because we are also, again, women focus and youth focus. We are also looking at how can we support the communities that we work with to be able to engage in decent work practices. We conducted a research and observed that within the agriculture value chain, a lot of the smallholder farmers who work, maybe for those who have been employed by agribusinesses, they are unable to receive the right compensation that they deserve. They are unable to have social protection, social security. So, for instance, if they fall sick at some point and they are unable to work for the rest of their life, there is nothing for the family to depend on. We also observe that because these people work with these agribusinesses and use some level of chemicals in the scope of their work, they don't have any protection. And so when it comes to decent work, we're looking at how can people be well compensated for the work that you're doing? How can they receive the level of social protection that they need to be able to have a decent livelihood? And so when we conducted that research, we observed that these were some of the challenges associated with the delivery of work with those smallholder farmers within the agriculture value chain. In terms of the social protection, we know that LEAP is there. Government has some level of social protection, and according to the social protection policy of Ghana, the vulnerable people in society are the ones supposed to be assessing these social protection schemes. Unfortunately, when we conducted the research again, we observed that the people who are politically connected in the communities, they are the ones assessing these social protection schemes. And so then the question is, how can we as a nation support or run an impact assessment of who are the beneficiaries of the social protection schemes, so that at the end of the day, we know that in community A, for instance, if I go to Bimbila, I know that these are the people I'm supposed to be targeting. Are we doing the targeting right? And so we're running a campaign, and we're looking at how can we ensure that we raise the awareness on these issues, because social protection, whether we like it or not, are supposed to be for the very vulnerable in society. But because of the manner in which some of these schemes are rolled out, for instance, in some of the communities, they will tell you that the NHIS, when they go to the communities, the hospitals, the clinics, they don't mind them. Even to renew it is a problem. And these are very vulnerable people in society. So if the government's schemes that are supposed to support them are unable to support them in a manner that would help them to live a decent life, then it becomes a problem. Right. One of the issues we also observed was that a lot of the time when there is flooding, for instance, the communities that are flood prone, you realize that anytime there is this issue, NADMO will go in, give them groceries, give them relief items. But the farmers who are at the receiving end of this level of disasters, they are unable to go back, because some of them even go for loans to support the planting of the crops that they want to grow. And so if you give them relief items, how are they able to go back to farming? It doesn't solve the problem. And so one of the things we're advocating for is for us to establish a disaster relief fund, so that, and everybody can support in this fund. We have donor communities who are willing to support smallholder farmers. And I'm happy that recently, during the African Union Day, the president was talking about food security. If you look at Ghana, a lot of the people who produce our food is the smallholder farmers. And we can't neglect them. We can't neglect them because we want to industrialize agriculture, because these are the people we will not want to leave behind. And so even though we want to industrialize agriculture, how can we look at what are some of the local solutions that can support these very vulnerable people to be able to produce the food you and I will go to the markets, find and be able to bring back into our homes. And so we are advocating for us to establish that disaster relief fund to support these smallholder farmers. In terms of the training, we're running the training because the media is part of what we do.
Right.
You cannot, ActionAid does not see the media as a tool to cover our stories, and that's the end. We have a very good relationship with the media. We know that campaigns cannot be successful if the media does not understand what the goal is. And before you even start any campaign, you need to be able to provide a basis, evidence, for people to know that, okay, these are the issues we have unraveled on the ground, and this is what we want you to run with. And because of that, you will need people to understand the perspective. I'm probably talking about smallholder farmers, decent work, social protection. Not everybody understands these things. And so if you want the media to be able to support the campaign, you would therefore need them to understand what are the issues you have unraveled through your researches, what are the issues on the ground, what are the key advocacy messages that you want government, what are the policy directions that you want government to implement. For instance, we know that it's very difficult, but we are looking at how can government, as part of, let's say, the district roadmaps towards decent work, how can we roll that in? So, for instance, if the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is running any programs for the planting for food and jobs, which I know they are reviewing some of the areas of that particular policy, how can you ensure that those within the value chain are embedding decent work principles? So if you are employing smallholder farmers, how can you ensure that these smallholder farmers, their decent work and social protection are factored into the whole process?
All right. So Ayuba, I'd like for you to tell us what to expect at the training, who can participate, when it's happening, where it's happening, basically everything about the training.
Yes, thank you very much. So the training is happening today and tomorrow at the Mansfield Grand Hotel. Yes, so we expect all caliber of media personnel to be part of this. And so, presenters, reporters, and then whoever is in the media space, we expect everybody to be part, because you all play the role in actually supporting in our campaigns. And so, yes, these are the category of people we are expecting. Yes, and we have seasoned trainers who are going to engage with them, and then you will love it. So those who are invited from here, we welcome them. They should come, and then we have a lovely training.
Right. Are you hoping to extend this beyond Accra? Because I'm thinking about...
Yes.
But the plan is for other journalists in different parts.
Yeah. So actually we started in the north.
Okay.
We did northern region in Tamale. Then we went to Wa. We went to Borga, and then we are coming to Accra. Yes. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you so much. You had Ayuba Abukari. He is Project Manager, ActionAid Ghana, and earlier Esther Ohinewa Brown, Communications and Public Relations Manager at ActionAid Ghana. You want to follow ActionAid on social media as ActionAid Ghana?
Yes, ActionAid Ghana.
Right,
You can visit our website to have more information as well.
Exactly.